always talked about it?
It's a balance. I don't want to jam it down anybody's throat.
Yeah.
That's an even bigger sin.
Mark Wahlberg just lit the fuse, and Hollywood's biggest power couple is standing right on top of the dynamite. According to insiders, Wahlberg marched into a private producer dinner and unleashed a scorched earth monologue about the dirty ambush Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds pulled to wrestle control of It Ends With Us away from director star Justin Baldoni.
You know, it's not popular in my industry, but, you know, I cannot deny my faith.
And to the point where this guy was in the basement at his own movie's premiere. And that what in fact happened was you guys were the ones out there generating negative press against Justin. You guys were the ones who were trying to ruin Justin.
He called their maneuver the most shameless hijack I've ever seen. And now the entire town is scrambling because Wahlberg says he's ready to throw every last email, text, and studio memo onto the courtroom table. "I won't let them bury another filmmaker," Wahlberg allegedly snapped. The room went silent. Career-killing silent. And with that single tirade, Wahlberg detonated a feud that was already toxic, turning it radioactive. Wahlberg's beef didn't start yesterday. Friends say he was already mentoring Baldoni on distribution strategy when rough cut drama exploded last fall.
On Blake Lively's claims that she was allegedly harassed by this guy when they shot the movie It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence. And was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it. At the Reynolds penthouse in Manhattan, where Ryan Reynolds allegedly bullied Justin so badly that a Sony representative, and her biggest takeaway was, it was so nasty.
But nothing prepared him for what he claims he saw during a hush-hush screening 2 weeks ago. Scenes reshot behind Baldoni's back, voiceover patched in to shift sympathy to Lively's character, and an ending recut to make Justin look like comic relief. Wahlberg stormed out, phoned Sony brass, and demanded answers. When the suits shrugged, he vowed to kick the doors off the soundstage. And here we are. And guess what? Wahlberg allegedly has a thumb drive stuffed with time-stamped footage proving Baldoni was iced out of his own film.
Another bombshell, and this time it is pertaining to the New York Times. Amazing that you're not going to believe this, okay? It looks like Justin Baldoni may have a very strong case against the New York Times. Ryan and Blake and two other of her friends all staged a mass unfollowing of Joe Alwyn like they were 13 years old. Okay, Ryan, you're 48 years old. Grow up.
Blake Lively didn't just influence the edit. She orchestrated it. Set sources whisper that during the summer 2024 rewrite meltdown, she leveraged a performance clause that let her consult on Final Cut.
You did not know both of their lawsuits had been consolidated into one legal showdown instead of these two separate lawsuits.
From Armie Hammer, who got fired from Gossip Girl because he said during a dinner that she was a bitch, regarding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, when I just recognized that they are up on their high horses and that they potentially treat people very bad.
If the studio deemed the director conflicted, all she needed was a hint of conflict. Enter Ryan Reynolds. Insiders claim Reynolds slid complaint memos to Sony HR, accusing Baldoni of demeaning, body-shaming comments. The studio hit panic mode.
That they were plotting with the New York Times for months to smear him, and there may be some important evidence.
The kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, documents, which prove exactly what she did to take over the movie.
Quietly sidelined Baldoni pending review, and presto, Lively gained veto power over every frame. Whole storyboards were shredded. Baldoni's gritty realism replaced with glossy Instagram filter romance.
The conclusion here, I have said this since before, long before this ever broke out between her and Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively is not a good person, that she has proven herself not to be a kind person.
There's just so much more to this story, and the media's already like self-flagellating. Oh, we were too mean to Blake. And now you see text messages from Blake Lively comparing herself. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
Crew morale cratered, and a quarter of department heads allegedly quit rather than bend the knee. And then Ryan turned the rumor mill up to 11. Ryan Reynolds is a marketing wizard. Everyone knows that. But Wahlberg's camp accuses him of weaponizing that talent.
I have no idea on what grounds these two are going to attempt to dismiss his lawsuit. I could understand some possible arguments that her publicist might make and fail, because I told you, he's got evidence.
In that really they're bored and rich. Another circumstance that made me see right through Ryan Reynolds and the kind of person that he is when, despite being friends with Joe Alwyn, who dated Taylor Swift for 5 years, she's best friends with Blake Lively.
Maximum Effort staffers were repurposed, say insiders, to plant blind items painting Baldoni as a serial diva with a disturbing fixation on Lively. Anonymous tweets popped up like clockwork. Commentators on fan forums suddenly remembered shady on-set moments.
They worked with the New York Times, or publicists worked directly with the New York Times. They shared illegally obtained text messages.
Frustrated customers are not only offloading these subpar products, but are also flooding social media with viral outcries demanding accountability. Even late-night writers started sliding snarky Baldoni jokes into monologues. Wahlberg traced IP pings and claims they funneled back to a Canadian ad tech shell, linked to Reynolds' empire, but Baldoni didn't stay silent. He lawyered up. Big time. January 16, 2025 shook Hollywood's legal boards. Justin Baldoni sued Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist for $400 million, accusing them of defamation, civil extortion, and career sabotage.
That the publicist was planting stories about him. He's got receipts. His lawyer was just responding publicly to what she initiated. Literally moments ago, Baldoni's attorney...
Wahlberg bankrolled the early discovery, work lining up ex-crew willing to testify. Documents filed in LA Superior Court outline how Lively allegedly threatened false harassment claims if Baldoni didn't surrender editing rights. One jaw-dropping exhibit, a group text where Lively allegedly writes, "I'll cry on The Tonight Show if I have to. He's not tanking my Oscar season." Baldoni's lawyers say that text alone is worth 9 digits in damages. Sony tried. Mediation. It imploded in 90 minutes. A court conference is set for June 9th, and Wahlberg just put himself on the witness list. Yet the fallout doesn't end in the courtroom. When Wahlberg decides you're guilty, he doesn't tweet. He dials. Within 48 hours of his meltdown, agents at CAA, WME, and UTA were forwarding leaked Sony memos detailing how the studio formally granted Lively supervisory rights over Cut B. A Sony VP allegedly wrote, "Blake's cut Maverick's test screen. Win," in an email now circulating like wildfire. Wahlberg personally called Netflix, Disney, and Paramount execs, warning that partnering with the Reynolds-Lively cartel is radioactive until this is settled. Deal flow slowed overnight. Lively's rumored rom-com package? Dead in the water. Reynolds' cameo in Deadpool 4 spin-off? Suddenly on pause, while Marvel's legal team monitors the situation. Paul Feig tried to run damage control, praising Lively as a dream collaborator. Wahlberg, according to one producer, shot back, "Dream for who? The person she shoves off the director's chair? The war lines are carved, and careers are already bleeding." Sony stock dipped 3 points after leaks of the legal docs. Shareholder activists want an internal ethics inquiry. Fashion houses are nervous about Lively's endorsement deals. Aviation Gin's board, terrified of PR blowback, allegedly urged Reynolds to settle fast or step back. Meanwhile, Baldoni's nonprofit Wayfarer drew a surge of donations. Fans tagging receipts, more Stand By Justin. Wahlberg? He's shopping a docu-series to Prime Video titled Hijacked When Stars Steal Movies. Episode 1 is rumored to feature that infamous thumb drive, raw and unblurred. But the most explosive energy isn't in boardrooms. It's online. It started as a whisper on TikTok, then exploded into an all-out digital war. Teenagers, 20-something film buffs, and 40-year-old book club moms all united under one banner: I'm a justice for Justin. What began as scattered frustration turned into a coordinated takedown, and it was brutal. Within hours of Popcorned Planet dropping the now infamous leaked Wahlberg voice note, the clip tore through the internet like wildfire. In the recording, Wahlberg explicitly calls out Ryan Reynolds for operating a Black Ops gossip unit designed to destroy Baldoni's reputation. The tone? Cold, direct, unforgiving. 10 million streams in under 48 hours. And that was just the beginning. YouTube analysts jumped on the trend instantly, publishing sentiment analysis charts showing Baldoni's approval ratings skyrocketing, while Blake Lively's dropped like a rock, plummeting past even the lows. Of her 2023 Met Gala embarrassment, where fans accused her of tone-deaf fashion and diva antics. Every leaked email, every time-stamped memo, every emoji. Influencers dissected it all like forensic analysts. One video slowed down a lively interview frame by frame to catch what they called her liar smirk. Another claimed Reynolds' tweet cadence mirrored maximum effort copywriting. People weren't just outraged, they were obsessed. And Wahlberg, he poured gasoline on the fire, liking Team Baldoni posts, leaving cryptic fire emojis under posts exposing Sony's editing drama, even resharing a fan compilation of Baldoni's most emotional "It Ends With Us" scenes. From the original cut, not the lively edit, then came Ryan's sarcastic tweet, trying to laugh it off. Big mistake. The internet ratioed him into digital oblivion, over 150,000 angry replies in 2 hours, dragging him for deflecting instead of addressing the allegations. Commenters didn't hold back. "Did Blake write this too?" one user posted. "Guess. You edited the joke just like the movie," another quipped. Momentum isn't just building, it's roaring toward the courthouse like a freight train with no brakes. And Blake and Ryan, they're tied to the tracks. The real storm begins on June 9th when the courtroom gavel drops on what could become one of the most disruptive entertainment lawsuits in years. It's not just about reputations anymore. Wahlberg's legal team is gunning for full-blown exposure. They've filed motions requesting subpoena access to Sony's internal Slack channels, private production emails, and every message exchanged between Ryan Reynolds' marketing agency and the studio's PR wing. That includes backdated ad strategy docs, editorial requests, and yes, the original footage logs from It Ends With Us before the alleged lively cut hijacked the final reel. If the judge greenlights it, Hollywood's dirty laundry won't just get aired. It'll be incinerated under a spotlight. Studio chiefs are panicking behind the scenes. This isn't just about Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni anymore. It's about how much unchecked power stars actually hold when they're allowed to blur the line between acting and production control. Executives are whispering that this case could redefine the modern actor-director relationship, with some even warning it may force a rewrite of A-list contract templates industry-wide. And the Directors Guild? They're watching every move like hawks. Sources close to the Guild say a contingency motion is already being drafted, a clause that would guarantee directors final cut protections in projects where the lead actor also holds a producer title. And guess who's being cited as the catalyst for that change? Blake Lively. The pressure's so high that even Sony's board of directors is reportedly split. Half want to dig in and fight alongside Reynolds and Lively. The other half? They're terrified. They know that if this lawsuit drags into July, when Sony's annual shareholder meeting hits, the fallout could trigger investor rebellion, force public disclosures, or worse, open the floodgates to civil suits from other filmmakers who were silenced or strong-armed in the past. One exec allegedly told Wahlberg in a closed-door phone call, "We need this settled quietly, quickly, before you take us all down with them." But Wahlberg, he's not blinking. According to insiders, he told friends bluntly, "I don't care who burns. I'll spend whatever it takes. No more bullies in my business." That's not just a warning, that's a declaration of war. And if Blake and Ryan thought they could charm, deflect, or meme their way out of this, they're in for a rude awakening. Because Wahlberg isn't a gossip rag, he's a wrecking ball with receipts. And what happens after June 9th could reshape everything. We thought we knew about Hollywood power. Mark Wahlberg walked into a dinner and flipped Hollywood's table. Now, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds face a courtroom inferno, a collapsing PR wall, and a grassroots revolt all at once, because one powerhouse decided their alleged ambush of Justin Baldoni couldn't stand. Depositions are weeks away, and every executive in town is bracing for emails, contracts, and late-night DMs to explode across the docket. Wahlberg swears he's only getting warmed up. If he delivers on that promise, It Ends With Us might end a lot more than a single love story. It could end the era where superstardom steamrolls a director's vision without consequence. Stay tuned, because the next reveal could shatter careers before the summer sun even sets.